Hi guys, you are now watching In the Seat with Valerie Perez. For today's show, we're going to talk about the Migrant Caravan. Some of the content that you'll see today may be too graphic. We advise that anyone under the age of 13 watch this episode with an adult. Today's episode will include both English and Spanish, but don't worry, we're going to provide subtitles for you. Bienvenidos. Ahora están mirando el programa In the Seat with Valerie Perez. Para nuestro episodio de hoy, vamos a hablar de la caravana migrante. Unas de las fotos o contenido que van a ver hoy podría ser demasiado gráfico. Requisamos que personas mirando este video menor de 13 años miren este episodio con un adulto. Nuestra discusión va a incluir inglés y español, pero no se preocupen, vamos a tener subtítulos para ustedes. Now check out this quick informative clip. Migrants from all over Central America have been traveling in a caravan consisting of men, women, and children to escape gang violence in countries such as Honduras, Guatemala, and Venezuela. They have taken up temporary residence along the U.S.-Mexico border in Tijuana, Mexico, south of San Diego. Both the Trump administration and Mexico have been strict on these asylum seekers in recent months. Tensions have escalated, with U.S. officers resorting to using tear gas on crowds of these asylum seekers. I spoke to two students about their take on this situation. Welcome back. Our two guests for today are Maria and Gabriel. Could you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the LULAC Club here on campus?
Yeah, so hello. My name is Maria Cruz, and I am the upcoming president for the LULAC Comic Council here at UTD. We are the oldest and largest Latinx civil rights organization. What we do is we go out, do community service for the homeless, and we also try to do a lot of Latinx advocacy, so we like to let people know what's going on in the Latinx community.
Wow, that's really interesting. Thank you for being involved.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Barron. I am the president of Lambda Theta Phi Land Fraternity Incorporated. We are the first and the largest Latin-founded Greek fraternity in the United States.
Wow.
So we do a lot of, also Latinx outreach. We speak about the issues that are going on in our community, and we also like to give back to our community. So very happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us today. So I know we're all aware of the Migrant Caravan and how it's been going on for months. Whenever you guys see the content on social media or on the news or anything, what is your initial reaction when you see any of the images?
Well, for me, it's really close to home because I am Honduran American, and a lot of family members have migrated here from Honduras. Mm-hmm. So whenever I see those pictures, it reminds me of like the stories they've told me, how much they struggled. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get really sad, and then I stopped complaining because I realized like my problems are nothing compared to what these people are going through.
Right. Yeah, I think it's definitely realistic whenever I see any of the content. And the thing about it is that it's not just, news outlets posting stuff. It's people who aren't even, of Hispanic descent. Mm-hmm. It's celebrities and everyone. Yeah. What about you, Cody?
Well, I have a totally different perspective on that. I see like a lot of like my people, Mexican American. Well, I'm Mexican American, but Mexican people, they tend to post really mean stuff about them. Like they really post like very xenophobic terms and pictures and memes and stuff about them not wanting to be there and stuff like that. And it really hurts because it's kind of like what they also face when they're trying to get here to the United States. Mm-hmm. So like it just doesn't make any sense to me. But not only that, there's also just like the migrants themselves. Mm-hmm. I listen to NPR radio every morning, and so like when they were talking about the Migrant Caravan, I literally teared up like just hearing like the children crying. Mm-hmm. And stuff like that. So yeah. it does affect me a lot, and I can only imagine how it affects Maria and her family.
Yeah. Would you guys consider this a political issue, or do you consider it more of a humanitarian crisis? Because there seems to be, people at odds on that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more of a humanitarian crisis, given what recently happened with the tear gas. Because you see all these pictures, like there was children there, and it's not just because there's children there, also, like, no one was harming anyone, so there was no need to throw the tear gas. But it kind of makes you think, like, if they're willing to do that to their neighbor countries, who's to say they're not going to do it to our own country?
I would like to say it's both. It's more so, I would just say, the involvement of the U.S. from a long time ago and all that they've done to, like, deconstruct the governments over there, and they created all that chaos,
Right.
and which led to all the circumstances and all the, again, just chaos that's going on over there in Honduras, which makes the people come over here. And so that's also what leads to a humanitarian crisis, because the government's just not doing what the people want. So and if the people don't get what they want, then, like, what's the point of staying there? They'll come here to America, where they have that idea that we actually get stuff done.
It seems like whenever I looked up, and researched on it, America's feet, and I use that metaphorically, has already been, like, involved into it. We've sent money and done things, at least with Guatemala for sure. So if it's kind of like we're trying to take back something we've already kind of put our feet in. So it's just it's interesting, because it's like you can't just stop it whenever people are reacting to what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump is trying to use this as a tool to kind of magnify, or, I mean, obviously he's securing our country like he said he would, but do you think he's trying to use this as a tool to kind of, fog the certain people that are coming through the migrant caravan, saying that they're all criminals?
I like to say yes. It's ever since the beginning of his campaign in 2015, like, there's no doubt in my mind, at least, that he's using those people who are literally carrying their children from horrible situations and bringing them here to where, like, why would they come here? It just doesn't make any sense. Why would they come here knowing, like, that they have in their mind that America is the beacon of hope, and then for Trump to say, oh no, there's a bunch of rapists and a bunch of bad people, bad hombres, like he mentioned us before, and it's kind of dumb. But I wholeheartedly think that he's using that whole situation as a pawn. And you can also see it as an example when midterm elections were coming up. He would talk about it constantly. And after the elections were over, not one thing has been mentioned about the whole caravan, and, like, how all the people are trying to take over and invade and stuff like that. It's really, you can see it for sure.
Yeah. And I think what people fail to realize is, I mean, these are just normal people trying to look for peace, because in their own countries there's so much violence and crime. So to say that they're all gang members and criminals, it's really disheartening.
Do you guys see anything positive coming out of this? I know right now it's barely in the process and everything. We're seeing all the negative effects, but do you see maybe in the later future a better immigration reform, a better asylum reform? Do you think that would be something that would come out of this? Now that we as Americans and as people, we're seeing how bad it can get.
Yes, I think that there is a possibility to have a better, like, immigration reform, because people are starting to see, like, oh, this is really affecting our neighbor countries, and, like, that's just not fair to them. Yeah.
No, I look at it like this. I look at it like there is a possibility that there could be a new Clean Dream Act, a new way for immigrants to get here and establish legal status here. But I also look at it through, like, a child perspective, like, how when you're younger, a lot of trauma can, like, really, affect you as you grow up. So when you see that the United States, the president, who is supposed to be a representative of all of us, clearly not a representative of me, but when he says that there are bad people in there and that they don't want they want to come here to steal and do crime, and, like, they don't want to help you, then that sends off a really bad message to those children. And so I feel like that will also kind of have a negative effect for them growing up, and they'll see like the U.S. is like really nothing. It's just like there's no point in being here. So I do see like the good and the bad of this whole situation, and it's a lot to think about because like you know I'm an American, so I don't have to go. I didn't have to go through what they went through, but to like actually see like you know the effect. It's I don't know. It's something that we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, well, it'll be a part of, you know, Latin American, Mexican history, American history for the rest of time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Maria, for sharing your story with us. Really appreciate it. That's all the time we have today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out our entertainment videos and our fun sports show, The Observatory. Don't forget to follow us on our social media page at UTD-TV. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Eso es todo el tiempo que tenemos hoy. Muchísimas gracias por ver nuestro programa. Si quieren ver más videos de noticias aquí en UTD, se pueden suscribir a nuestro canal de YouTube y seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales. Pueden encontrarnos como @UTDTV. Hasta la próxima. En Dallas, Valeria Perez.